You said it right at the top, Matt. Starting with Liverpool. I mean, you've longed for these days back in the Premier League, and Liverpool coming to Portman Road. I mean, there's one or two fixtures you really look out for in the calendar. I guess this is one of the ones you want, and this is first day back. This is what it's all about.
Well, there's been so much work gone on at Portman Road in the summer. I mean, there's a lot of money spent on trying to get the ground up to Premier League standard, really, especially now because the Premier League broadcasters around the world. We had a media box that really wasn't fit for purpose. So we've had a new gantry put in, a new press room, a new press box. We've had to extend the area for the away fans because the Premier League, you have to give a bigger percentage of your ground to. So there's been so much. I think had to update the floodlights. There's so much work going on around the ground. There's been so much done that in many ways, ideally, we might have wanted an away game first. I think Luton had the first couple away, didn't they? And because of that, but I think we wanted to hit the ground running. We want to have a home game, and you want your fans to enjoy it. First day of the season, back in the Premier League, you're at Portman Road, nearly 30,000 there, and one of the big boys coming to town. It's what the players have been looking forward to as well. I said earlier about me wanting to test myself against the best players in the Premier League. Steven Gerrard alongside me in the tunnel. We're walking out together. Right, it's me against you. Who's going to come out on top? I'm looking at the players now thinking jealous of the players in that tunnel on Saturday, alongside Mo Salah, whoever it might be, Leif Davis, our left-sided defender, up against Mo Salah. He must be looking at that thinking, brilliant. I'm up against one of the world's best, and let's see where I'm at. So yeah, I'm actually really jealous. Not that I'm not playing this weekend.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is testing yourself at the very highest level possible. And Ipswich have more than earned their right to be there, and those players have more than earned their right to be in the tunnel, shoulder to shoulder with those lads. You mentioned Leif Davis there. Who are the key players, would you say, for Ipswich? Not just for this weekend, but over the course of the season as well?
Yeah, I mean, Leif is a Premier League player in waiting and has been. Last season, I think he got 18 assists in the Championship. He's of the two fullbacks, the one who's got the more license to get forward. Takes set pieces. His delivery is excellent. He's clever in terms of his delivery into the box on that left-hand side. Gets himself into some good positions. He's quick as well. So he's ready for the Premier League. Really pleased that we were able to get hold of Amari Hutchinson, or keep hold of Amari Hutchinson. He was as the season went on last season. I mean, there isn't a player that hasn't developed under Kieran McKenna. Everyone's improved. But Amari, from the start of last season to the end of the season, there was a massive improvement. And he started to make the right decisions at the right time in the final third, delivers assists, goals, again, quick. So he's another one that I think that will enjoy the Premier League, but there's so much talent in the squad. Again, it's a bit unknown. I mean, Sam Morsey, for instance, the captain, he was absolutely outstanding last season, drove the team forward. He's making his Premier League debut at the age of 32. It's been it's one of those careers where he's been bouncing around the Championship and maybe not got the credit that he's deserved in the past. Last season he was exceptional, and now he's got the chance to walk out at Portman Road, leading his team into the Premier League, and fully deserved on his efforts over the last couple of seasons at the club. There's been a number of signings. We've made 4 or 5 new additions. I think there'll be more. I hope there'll be more between now and the end of the transfer window, because I think that we're still a little short in certain positions, and we've got a few injuries as well, which we're having to contend with. So, I certainly Leif Davis and Amari Hutchinson are the ones that I would say are going to be very comfortable in the Premier League.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, in terms of the game itself, then Matt, how do you see it panning out? I mean, it would be disrespectful of me to say Ipswich give a good account of themselves. I'm sure they've got aspirations that are much higher than that. But how do you see the game going? And do you see Kieran attacking this sort of front on and going there? Let's have a little bit of it. Let's see what our styles like match up against Liverpool's.
Again, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. I don't know what I can promise you is it's going to be a brilliant atmosphere. The buzz around Portman Road for the last couple of seasons, and I'm talking about in League One as well. For instance, and this isn't meant to be disrespectful at all, but Fleetwood may be coming on a Tuesday night, bringing 250 supporters. But the atmosphere at Portman Road, every single home game has been through the roof. The fan zone that's been created outside the ground, you get him to sort of 5,000 there on a match day, 5,000 plus in on a match day, every match day. There's just a real buzz about the place again. It's taken a long time. The new, I've got to give credit to the new ownership coming in, obviously owned by the Americans. The chief executive, now chairman, Mark Ashton, has been the driving force behind it all. But there's been investment on and off the pitch. We're in great shape on and off the pitch, ready to attack the Premier League. But the atmosphere is going to be incredible. So that'd be the first thing I'd say. And then we'll see when the game gets underway. Well, as I say, there's a lot of unknowns really about our squad and whether we're able to cope in the Premier League. We know and aware of the challenge that the Premier League brings, especially when you look at last season. The 3 teams that came up were the 3 teams that went down. So automatically, everyone makes the 3 teams coming up favourites to get relegated again. Natural, of course it is. But sometimes a team surprises, and hopefully Ipswich are the one that might surprise a few. It's a massive challenge against one of the best. And I know you haven't made any signings as yet, and that's something that maybe you're frustrated by as Liverpool supporters. But it's still a pretty strong squad, and there's a lot of talent and quality in that group. So it's a massive challenge for the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, make you right on that. Obviously, as you say, there are no new signings, but definitely a new manager and a new era at Liverpool Football Club. So lots of new stuff going on at the weekend down at Portman Road, or across at Portman Road as it is for us, really. Finally, Matt, I've got to trouble you for that prediction. You can sit on the fence, you can go heart, you can go head, do whatever you see fit for this one, mate.
Well, heart says Ipswich win. Head says Liverpool win. A point would be a magnificent result. I think you have to say if we're able to get a point. It's funny because when we got promoted to the Premier League when I was playing, so back in 2000 we got promoted. Our first 2 games were Tottenham away, Man United at home, and Man United had just done the treble. So went away to Tottenham. We scored early, went 1-0 up, ended up losing the game 3-1. Came away thinking, crikey, that's a bit of a wake-up call. Played quite well, thinking we probably didn't deserve to lose, but we were punished for making a few mistakes. Then we played Man United at home. Unbelievable atmosphere at Portman Road. We drew the game 1-1. Their midfield was Beckham, Giggs, Keenan, Scholes. So we were up against a top-class team, but we were able to get a point. If we were able to do that this weekend, it would stand us in really good stead, and it would give the players a lot of confidence going forward for the rest of the season. So my heart says Ipswich, my head says Liverpool. I'm hoping for somewhere in the middle and we get a point.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Kieran McKenna would bite our hands off for a point right now. I'm just looking at your pre-season results, actually. Win over Nice, win over Hoffenheim. Doesn't look too bad. Look okay.
No, it's been all right. It's been okay. Yeah. I again, don't read too much into pre-season results because there's the inevitable chopping and changing and players getting minutes, and so you're never quite sure where you are pre-season. You know, I've won every pre-season game and then lost the first 3 or 4, and I've lost every pre-season game and won the first 3 or 4. So I don't read too much into it. Having seen them and watched them, you know, we're ready, I think, and hopefully we can give a good account of ourselves.
There or thereabouts, Matt. There or thereabouts. Matt, absolute pleasure speaking to me. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Everybody else, I'll see and speak to you all again very soon. Take it easy.